Welcome back, survivors. Before the story starts, tap subscribe and comment where you're tuning in from. I'm dropping another story tomorrow, and you'll want to catch it first. The silence broke at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. on day 162. Not a hallucination this time. Actual footsteps, spiraling up the iron stairs toward my watchtower. I've been the only living thing in this abandoned cinema for 5 months. The door has no lock, and the footsteps, they just stopped. Right, outside. My name is Eva Moreau, and I'm either losing my mind or about to lose my life. The tower sways slightly in the wind. It always does. But tonight, every creak sounds like movement. Every shadow breathes. I'm pressed against the curved wall, kitchen knife clutched in hands that won't stop shaking. The camping lantern casts my shadow across the door, making me look bigger than I am. Braver than I feel. The footsteps started at the bottom, methodical, heavy. Each clang of boot on metal rang through the empty cinema like a bell tolling my execution. 37 steps from ground floor to my door. I've counted them 1,000 times during my patrols. 37 opportunities to turn back. They climbed all 37, then stopped. That was 4 minutes ago, maybe 5. Time melts in the dark, especially when you're waiting to die. My breathing sounds volcanic in the silence. I try to quiet it, but panic makes everything louder. Heartbeat thundering, blood rushing in my ears, the knife trembling in my grip, creating the smallest metallic whisper. Outside, nothing. No breathing, no movement. Just presence. Dr. Chen warned me about this. Isolation exacerbates psychotic features, Eva. Your brain will create stimuli to fill the void. Auditory hallucinations are common. Visual manifestations indicate deterioration. I stopped seeing her on day 12 when the city sealed itself and the dead began walking. But I know the difference between my mind eating itself and reality. I know the sound of my own footsteps versus someone else's. I know the weight difference. Mine are light, dancer's feet, years of stage training. These were heavy, deliberate, real. The door is solid wood, original to the 1940s construction. Art Deco brass handle, tarnished green, no lock. I checked 100 times those first weeks, searching for some way to seal myself in. The previous tenant, the last projectionist, must have trusted the isolation, trusted the spiral stairs as warning enough. He was wrong. I edge closer, knife extended. The floorboards groan, original hardwood warped with age and water damage. Whoever's outside can hear me moving. They know I know they're there. So why the silence? Why not break down the door? Why not speak? I have a weapon, I whisper. My voice cracks. I haven't spoken aloud in 3 days. I'll use it. Nothing. The north window behind me overlooks the parking lot, 3 stories down. Too high to jump. Too high to survive. The south window looks into the theater itself, a drop into darkness, into rows of seats that haven't held an audience since February. Both windows are painted shut. I tried opening them week 1. Failed. I'm trapped. The tower holds my entire world now. Sleeping bag in the corner, camping stove, water jugs, canned food stacked against the wall, books scattered across the floor. My journal sits open on the makeshift desk, A plank across two milk crates, pen still resting in the spine where I left it when the footsteps started. The last entry reads, Day 162. Quiet today. Too quiet. The hallucinations are getting worse. Saw movement in the balcony again. Need to stop checking. Need to stop looking. I was wrong. So catastrophically wrong. Outside my door, something scrapes against wood. Fingernails? Metal? The sound raises every hair on my body. Then, so soft, I almost miss it beneath my own terrified breathing, a whisper. Eva. They know my name. I don't answer. Can't answer. My throat has sealed shut, vocal cords frozen by primal terror. The knife wavers in front of me like a divining rod pointing toward death. Eva, the voice repeats, soft, almost gentle, female. I know you're frightened. I know you think you're alone. You're not. The words slither under the door like smoke. I back away, hitting the wall, the curved stone cold against my spine through my thin shirt. The lantern light flickers. Oil running low, I forgot to refill it yesterday, casting spastic shadows that make the whole tower seem alive. Who are you? My voice comes out broken, barely human. How do you know my name? Silence. Then, I've been watching you. For weeks now. I know this sounds insane, but I need you to trust me. Trust. The word almost makes me laugh. Trust died when the world did. When people started eating each other in the streets. When the government broadcasts stopped. When my cousin Marcus never came back to check on me after week 2 like he promised. Through the balcony window, the voice continues. I've been living in the projection booth. I've seen you patrolling, reading, talking to yourself. I've seen you breaking down. My chest constricts. The projection booth. I check it every 3 days during my rounds. Always locked, always empty. Except the cigarette butts. The unlocked door on day 73. The reels of film I found on day 116. Footage I convinced myself I'd hallucinated. Someone's been documenting my deterioration. The footage, I whisper. The camera. That was you? I needed to make sure you were stable before I approached. A pause. You're not stable, Eva, but neither am I. Neither is anyone who's survived this long. The footsteps start again, but descending, moving away. Relief floods through me so intensely, my legs nearly give out. Then the voice drifts up from lower on the staircase. I'm going back to the booth. If you want answers, come find me. If you want to keep hiding in that tower until you starve or go completely insane, that's your choice. But I'm the only real thing you've encountered in 162 days. The metal stairs clang with each retreating step. 37 steps in reverse. Then the sound of the theater's main door opening, closing. The echo swallowed by thousands of empty seats. I stand frozen, knife still raised, mind racing through possibilities. Trap. Obviously a trap. Lure the crazy woman out of her fortress, ambush her in the dark theater, take her supplies. Or worse. But what if it's real? What if I'm not alone? The isolation has been eating me alive. 5 months of my own voice, my own thoughts, my own ghosts. 5 months of wondering if I'm the last person breathing in this entire dead city. The hallucinations have been getting worse. Figures in seats, shadows on walls, whispers in empty rooms. What if some of them were real? What if I've been so convinced of my solitude that I couldn't see the truth? I moved to the south window, peering through grime-covered glass into the theater below. The emergency exit lights provide faint green illumination, just enough to outline the seats, the balcony, the projection booth window, dark and inscrutable. As I watch, a light flickers on inside the booth. Brief, deliberate, a signal. Someone's really there. My hands are shaking so badly I can barely hold the knife. Every survival instinct screams at me to stay put, barricade the door, wait for dawn. But dawn won't change anything. Dawn hasn't changed anything in 162 days. I grab the lantern. Check the oil. Maybe 20 minutes left. Enough. The spiral staircase groans under my weight, each step announcing my descent. I keep the knife ready, lantern held high. The theater opens up around me like a cathedral of dust and decay. Velvet seats with split seams, faded carpet, the screen, massive and blank, watching everything. Smart choice, the voice calls from above. The projection booth. Take the left aisle, stairs to the balcony, then the door on your right. It's unlocked. Every cell in my body screams trap. I climb anyway. Should Eva trust the voice? Or is she walking into exactly what she fears most? The balcony stairs creak like arthritic bones. My lantern throws grotesque shadows across peeling wallpaper, Art Deco patterns, geometric shapes that seem to writhe in the unstable light. The air up here tastes different, stale, ancient, like breathing in decades of forgotten films and abandoned dreams. The projection booth door stands open. Just a crack. Light spills through, not electric. Candlelight. Warm. Flickering. Almost inviting. I press my back against the wall beside the doorframe, knife ready. "I'm armed," I call out. "If this is some kind of—" "It's not." The voice is clearer now, no longer muffled by wood and distance. "Come in, Eva, slowly. Keep the knife if it makes you feel safer." I nudge the door wider with my foot. The hinges scream. Inside, the projection booth is smaller than I remember from my patrols, barely 10 feet square, dominated by the ancient projector sitting like a mechanical altar. Reels of film are stacked everywhere. Camping equipment in the corner, sleeping bag, supplies, and sitting on a stool beside the projector, bathed in candlelight, is a woman. She's younger than me, maybe late 20s, dark hair pulled back in a practical braid. Thin, everyone's thin now, but her eyes are sharp, alert, disturbingly sane. She wears layers of clothing, fingerless gloves, a utility vest with pockets bulging with supplies. A pistol rests on the equipment table beside her, not pointed at me, not yet. "My name is Claire," she says. "I'm not going to hurt you. You've been spying on me." My voice shakes with anger now, replacing fear. "Filming me, watching me lose my mind." "Studying you," Claire corrects. She doesn't look away, doesn't flinch from my accusation. "There's a difference. I needed to know if you were dangerous, if you were infected. If you were—" She pauses, choosing words carefully. "Worth saving." Saving? The laugh that escapes me sounds unhinged even to my own ears. I don't need saving. I'm surviving just fine. Claire gestures to a small monitor on the table, battery-powered, connected to something I can't see. On the screen, grainy footage plays. Me, in the tower, 3 days ago, rocking back and forth, talking to the empty chair across from me, having a full conversation with no one. My stomach drops. You're not fine, Eva. You're deteriorating. Another month and you'll be completely gone. Claire leans forward, candlelight carving harsh shadows under her eyes. I've seen it before. Isolation psychosis. It starts with hallucinations, ends with self-destruction. You're on the edge. Why do you care? The knife trembles in my grip. Why reveal yourself now? Why not just stay hidden in your little spy nest? Because something's changed. Claire stands, moves to the projection booth window overlooking the theater. Come here. Look. I don't move. I can see from here. No, you can't. Her voice carries new urgency. Please, Eva, look. Against every instinct I approach, stand beside her. The theater spreads below us, rows of seats disappearing into darkness, the emergency lights casting their sickly green glow. Everything looks the same as it has for 162 days. Then Claire points. Third row, center section, watch. I watch, see nothing. Then, movement. A figure rises from one of the seats, shambling, awkward. It moves into the aisle, heading toward the lobby doors. Another figure follows, then another. My blood turns to ice water. They came in 2 nights ago, Claire whispers. The front entrance. The lock finally gave out. I've been monitoring them, trying to figure out their patterns. They're slow, confused. The darkness disorients them. But they're spreading through the building. Zombies in the cinema, in my sanctuary. How many? My voice barely works. 12, maybe 15. Hard to count in the dark. They mostly stay on the ground floor, but yesterday one made it to the balcony level. They're learning the space, getting bolder. I watch another figure shuffle past below, its movements jerky, inhuman. 5 months I've been here. 5 months of isolation, of slowly losing my grip on reality. And all along, I thought the monsters were in my head. We need to leave, Claire says. Tonight, before they find the tower stairs, before they trap us. Leave. The word feels foreign. Leave and go where? The city's dead. Everywhere is dead. Claire turns to me, and in her eyes I see something I haven't seen in 162 days. Purpose. Not everywhere. I've been monitoring radio frequencies. There's a settlement 40 miles north. They're taking survivors. But we have to move now while we still can. Below us, more figures emerge from the shadows, moving with terrible patience toward the stairs, toward the tower. We don't have time for you to process this. Claire's already moving, stuffing supplies into a backpack with military efficiency. The roof access is through the maintenance shaft behind the screen. I've been preparing for 3 days. Food, water, weapons. We go up, cross to the adjacent building, work our way to street level 2 blocks over. They won't follow. Too complicated. I stand frozen, mind fragmenting. The figures below multiply in my vision. Are there really 15, or am I seeing duplicates? Is Claire even real, or is this another elaborate hallucination, my fractured psyche creating salvation where none exists? How do I know you're not in my head? The words tumble out. How do I know any of this is real? Claire stops packing, walks directly to me, and slaps me across the face. The sting is immediate, shocking, undeniably physical. My cheek burns. Tears spring to my eyes. Real enough? Claire's voice softens. Eva, I know you're scared. I know you don't trust your own perception anymore, but I need you to listen to your survival instinct, not your paranoia. Those things down there will kill us both if we stay. I touch my burning cheek. The sensation grounds me. Pain is honest. My mind creates shadows and voices, but it's never manifested physical touch. Never left marks. Okay, I breathe. Okay, what do I need to grab from the tower? Nothing. Too dangerous. They're already near the spiral stairs. We use what I have. She tosses me a backpack. Put this on. Take this. A flashlight. And this. A tire iron, heavy and cold. What about your gun? I gesture to the pistol on the table. 3 bullets left, saving them for emergencies. She tucks it into her waistband. Gunshots attract more. We move quiet. We move fast. We don't engage unless absolutely necessary. Through the projection booth window, I watch the figures congregate near the tower entrance. 12, definitely 12. They move with strange synchronization now, like schools of fish. One reaches the spiral stairs, places a decayed hand on the railing, starts climbing. They've found it, I whisper. Then we're out of time. Claire blows out the candles, plunging us into darkness except for my failing lantern. Maintenance shaft is stage left, behind the screen. We'll need to cross the balcony, take the stairs down, cut through the orchestra section. 30 seconds in the open. Can you run? I haven't run in months, haven't needed to. My legs are weak from malnutrition and inactivity. But adrenaline is a hell of a drug. I can run. Then let's move. We exit the projection booth into the balcony hallway. Below, the theater has transformed into a nightmare garden. Bodies shambling between seats, the sound of dragging feet creating a horrible chorus. The smell hits me, rot and decay, sweetly putrid. I gag, covering my mouth. Claire grabs my arm, steadies me. Breathe through your nose, short breaths. You get used to it. We descend the balcony stairs. The infected below haven't noticed us yet. They're focused on the tower, drawn by some instinct or memory of life. My routines. They've been watching me just like Claire has. We reach the orchestra level. The stage looms ahead, massive and dark. The screen hangs like a pale ghost. Somewhere behind it, freedom. Maybe. On 3, Claire whispers. 1, 2. A door slams open behind us. The lobby entrance. More figures pour in. 5, 6, 7. Fresh ones. Faster. They spot us immediately. The sound they make isn't human. It's hunger given voice. Run! Claire shoves me forward. We sprint down the center aisle. The backpack bounces against my spine. My lungs burn. 5 months of shallow tower breathing, no exercise, body weak. The infected surge after us, their footfalls a stampeding drumbeat. Claire vaults onto the stage. I follow, muscles screaming. Behind the screen, A door. Maintenance access. Barely visible. Claire kicks it open, a shaft leading up into darkness. "Climb!" she shouts. "Don't look back!" I grab the ladder rungs, metal cold under my palms. Start climbing. Below, Claire fires once, the gunshot deafening in the enclosed space. A body hits the ground. She fires again. Then she's on the ladder beneath me, climbing with desperate speed. "Go, go, go!" Hands grab at her feet. She kicks violently, connecting with something that crunches. The infected shriek. I climb faster, arms burning, lungs screaming. Up into the shaft, into blackness, following the rungs by feel alone. My hand strikes metal. A hatch. I push. Locked. Rusted shut. "It won't open!" Panic claws at my throat. Below, Claire's still fighting, still climbing. "Push harder! Ram it with your shoulder!" I brace my feet on the ladder, slam my shoulder into the hatch. Once, twice. The rusted metal groans. Third time, it bursts open. Night air floods in. Stars. Freedom. I pull myself onto the roof, reach down for Claire. Her hand clasps mine. I pull with everything I have. She emerges gasping, bleeding from a scratch on her cheek. Behind her, the infected fill the shaft, climbing, reaching. We slam the hatch shut, drag a rusted air conditioning unit across it. The metal shudders as bodies hammer from below. We collapse on the tar paper roof, heaving for breath, alive. For now, they escaped the cinema. But what's waiting for them in the dead city beyond? The city spreads before us like a corpse. No lights, no movement, just skeletal buildings against a star-filled sky that's brighter than I've seen in years. No light pollution, no life left to pollute it. The silence up here is different from the tower's silence. That was contained, suffocating. This is vast, endless, the silence of extinction. Claire sits up first, wiping blood from her cheek. The scratch isn't deep, but it's fresh, angry red against pale skin. We need to keep moving. They'll find another way up eventually. They always do. "How long have you been running?" I ask, still catching my breath. "Since the beginning. Philadelphia, then Baltimore, then here. Nowhere's safe for long." She stands, scans the rooftops. "The adjacent building is lower. We can drop down, work our way to the fire escape. From there, it's a 3-block sprint to where I have a car stashed." "A working car." Hope flutters in my chest, fragile as a dying bird. "Working enough." Claire's eyes meet mine, and something in her expression shifts, hardens. "Eva, before we go further, I need to tell you something about why I was really watching you." The hope dies. "What do you mean?" She reaches into her vest pocket, pulls out a photograph. Even in moonlight, I recognize the face. My cousin Marcus, smiling, arm around Claire's shoulders. The photo is creased, carried for months. "Marcus was," I start. "My fiancé," Claire finishes. "He told me about you, about the cinema, about leaving you here as a security guard. He said he'd check on you. He promised." The weight of those words crushes me. He never came back. "I know. Because he's dead." Her voice cracks, then steadies. "Bitten on day 18, trying to get supplies. He lasted 4 hours before I had to shoot him. His last words were about you. Tell Eva I'm sorry. Tell her to survive. I can't breathe. Marcus, who gave me this sanctuary, who promised safety, died trying to keep that promise. And Claire, grieving fiancé, came looking for his cousin, found me instead, slowly going insane in isolation. So this isn't random kindness, I whisper. This is obligation to a dead man. It started that way. Claire pockets the photo. But Eva, I've been watching you for weeks. You fight. Even alone. Even losing your mind, you fight. That's rare now. Most people just give up, lie down, let the silence take them. You didn't. I thought about it, I admit. Every day. The tower window. 3 stories. Quick. But you didn't jump. That matters. She extends her hand. Marcus asked me to save you, but I'm asking you to survive. For yourself. There's a difference. I stare at her hand. Behind us, the hatch shudders. They're still trying to break through. Ahead, the dead city waits, with unknown horrors. But Claire's hand is real, solid, human. The first real connection I've had in 162 days. I take it. We cross to the adjacent building, a lower office complex, roof access door mercifully unlocked. The stairwell inside reeks of decay. Bodies on the landing, old kills, withered and still. We step carefully around them, weapons ready. 4th floor, 3rd, 2nd. The fire escape beckons through a shattered window. We climb through, metal groaning under our weight. Below, the alley stretches dark and narrow, empty, too empty. Something's wrong, Claire whispers. It shouldn't be this clear. She's right. In a city this dead, there should be infected everywhere. Instead, nothing. Just wind pushing trash down the alley, creating small cyclones of debris. We descend the fire escape, each step careful, controlled. My legs shake from exertion and adrenaline crash. We reach ground level. The alley opens onto a side street. 3 blocks to the car, Claire said. 3 blocks through open territory. We run. Our footsteps echo off empty buildings. Every shadow could hide death. Every doorway could burst open. But nothing moves. The city feels evacuated, scoured clean. Wrong. 2 blocks, 1 block. Claire points to an alley mouth ahead. There. Silver sedan, covered with a tarp, keys in the wheel well. We round the corner into the alley and freeze. The car sits exactly where Claire described. But it's not alone. Figures surround it. 20, maybe 30. Not shambling, not confused. Standing in perfect formation, perfectly still, facing the alley entrance. Facing us. Waiting. They knew, I breathe. They knew we'd come here. Claire's face goes white. That's impossible. They don't plan. They don't think. They just... The infected move as one, not attacking, parting, creating a path through their ranks. At the center, beside the car, stands a figure different from the others. Taller, more composed. It wears the tattered remains of a security uniform, my tower, my cinema, my first week patrol uniform. The figure tilts its head and smiles. "Hello, Eva," it says in a voice that's almost human. "We've been waiting for you to come home." They can talk. They can plan. Everything Eva thought she knew about survival just changed. What else has been a lie? Claire raises her pistol, one bullet left. Her hand trembles. Stay back. Both of you, stay behind me. But I can't move, can't process. The thing wearing my uniform takes a step forward. Movements fluid, almost graceful. Nothing like the shambling corpses we fled. Its eyes reflect moonlight like a cat's, gleaming with terrible intelligence. You don't recognize me, Eva. He, touches the name tag on the uniform, the tag I wore those first desperate weeks. I suppose I've changed. We all have. Evolution is brutal, but necessary. You can't be real. My voice sounds distant, disconnected. The infected don't talk, they don't think, they just consume. The early generations, yes, mindless, hungry. But infection is a living thing, Eva. It learns, adapts. We are what comes after the hunger. He gestures to the others standing in perfect silence. We are what humanity becomes when it stops fighting and accepts the change. Claire fires. The bullet catches him in the shoulder, spinning him sideways. Black ichor sprays across the pavement. He staggers, touches the wound, examines his fingertips with curiosity, then laughs. That hurt, he says, almost pleased. Pain means the nervous system still functions. Remarkable. The wound begins to close, flesh knitting together with wet, organic sounds. You wasted your last bullet, Claire. Marcus would be disappointed. Claire's face drains of color. How do you know that name? Because I consumed him. The infected smiles wider. Not his flesh, his memories, knowledge, his love for you both. It's all still here, floating in what remains of his consciousness. He died thinking of you, Claire, and of you, Eva, hoping you'd survive. I'm going to vomit, going to scream, going to shatter completely. You're lying, Claire spits. Marcus died in Baltimore, 200 miles from here. His body died in Baltimore, but part of him traveled, in blood, in bite marks, in the connected network we've built across this dead country. We share everything now, memories, experiences, purpose. We are Legion, Claire. We are everyone you've ever loved, everyone you've ever lost. The other infected move closer, tightening the circle. No aggression, just inexorable pressure, hurting us. What do you want? I demand, finding my voice. If you wanted to kill us, you'd have done it already. Kill you? The infected tilts his head, genuinely puzzled. Why would we kill our most promising subjects? Eva, you've survived 162 days of isolation without breaking completely. Claire, you've evaded us across 3 states, adapting, learning, thriving. You're both perfect candidates. For what? Claire's voice drops to a whisper. Integration. He extends his hand, palm up. An offering, a threat. The infection isn't a plague. It's an invitation. Join us. Keep your consciousness. Keep your memories. But add them to ours. Become part of something greater than your fragile, isolated selves. You mean, become monsters, I say. We mean, become eternal. His eyes lock onto mine. Eva, You've spent 5 months slowly losing your mind to silence. What if you never had to be alone again? What if every thought, every memory, every human who's ever been infected became part of you? No more hallucinations, no more doubt, just perfect, terrible clarity. The temptation surprises me, terrifies me, because part of me, the part that's been splintering in isolation, wants it, wants connection, even corrupted connection, wants to never be alone again. No. Claire's voice cuts through my spiral. We're human. We stay human. For how long? The infected laughs again. Another month? Another year? Humans don't survive, Claire. You're just taking longer to die than most. We're offering you forever. Forever as slaves to infection, I counter, gripping the tire iron tighter. Forever as things pretending to be human. And what are you now? His smile vanishes. A woman who talks to ghosts? A killer who shoots the one she loved? You're already becoming something else. We're just honest about it. The circle tightens. 10 feet. 8 feet. The infected move in perfect synchronization, a single organism with 30 bodies. Claire grabs my arm. The fire escape. 3 buildings back. If we can break through, there is no escape. The infected's voice hardens. We control the city, every building, every street, every shadow. We let you run to see how far you'd get, to test you. You failed. Then why talk, I demand? Why not just take us? His smile returns, predatory. Because consent makes integration smoother. Because Marcus's memories asked us to try kindness first, but patience has limits, Eva. He raises his hand. The infected surge forward. Claire shoves me toward a gap in the circle. Run! We bolt through, bodies grabbing at us. Fingers catch my backpack, rip it away. Claire swings the empty pistol like a club, connecting with skulls. We break free, sprinting down the alley, their footsteps thundering behind us. But these aren't shambling corpses. These are predators. And they're fast. Claire yanks me left into a side alley, then right through a shattered storefront. Glass crunches under our boots. Behind us, the infected flow like water. Organized, purposeful, inevitable. No more pretense of mindless hunger. This is a hunt. Here! Claire drops to her knees beside a manhole cover, fingers scrabbling for purchase. Help me! I grab the opposite side. The iron disc is impossibly heavy, decades of rust welding it to the street. Behind us, shadows fill the storefront entrance. The infected don't rush. They walk. They know we're trapped. Come on, come on. Claire's voice cracks with desperation. The cover shifts, inch by inch. My fingers scream, nails tearing. The smell that rises from below is overwhelming. Sewage, rot, stagnant water. But it's escape, maybe. We heave the cover aside. A ladder descends into absolute darkness. No time to think. I swing my legs over, find the rungs, climb down into hell. Claire follows, dragging the cover partially back over the opening. Not enough. Never enough. The darkness swallows us. My feet hit water. Ankle deep, ice cold, thick with things I don't want to identify. The sewer tunnel stretches in both directions, illuminated only by scattered maintenance lights that flicker weakly, powered by emergency batteries, probably dying for months. North, Claire gasps. The settlement is north. We follow the flow. Above, the manhole cover scrapes aside. Moonlight pierces the darkness. A figure drops into the tunnel. Then another. Another, we run. The water splashes around our legs, soaking through clothes, chilling us to the bone. The tunnel is narrow, maybe 4 feet wide. Concrete walls slick with algae, and worse, pipes overhead drip steadily, creating a rhythm like a broken heartbeat. They're hurting us, I pant. They knew we'd come down here. Doesn't matter, just move. The tunnel branches. Claire goes left without hesitation, like she knows the route. Has she been down here before? Mapped it? How long has she been planning this escape? How did you really find me? I demand between breaths. The cinema. How did you know I was there? Not now, Eva. Yes, now. You show up after Marcus dies. You've been watching me for weeks. You know the city's layout, the sewer routes. What aren't you telling me? Claire stops so suddenly I nearly crash into her. Ahead, the tunnel opens into a junction chamber, a circular space where 6 tunnels converge. Emergency lights cast everything in sickly yellow. Water pools in the center, 3 feet deep. And standing in that pool, waiting, is the infected in my uniform, alone. I told you, he says calmly. There is no escape. Every path leads back to us. Every choice you make, we've already anticipated. He steps closer, water rippling around his legs. Because we think like you do, Eva. We are you. All of you. Every human we've consumed adds to our understanding. Claire raises the tire iron. Stay back. Or what? You'll fight? You'll win? He laughs, the sound echoing off concrete. Even if you kill this body, I exist in 100 others, 1,000. We are collective consciousness wearing meat puppets. You cannot kill an idea. You're not an idea, I say, surprising myself. You're a parasite pretending to be profound. His smile fades. Careful, Eva. Marcus's influence in our network has been protecting you, asking us to be gentle, but voices can be outvoted. Then stop talking and do it, Claire spits. Infect us. Kill us. Whatever you're going to do, stop playing games. But games are all we have left. He spreads his arms wide. The world is dead. Humanity is finished. We're simply trying to preserve what we can. Memories, personalities, consciousness itself. Yes, the flesh rots. Yes, the original host dies. But the self continues. Isn't that what you want, Eva? To continue? The question lands like a blade between my ribs. Because he's right. That's exactly what I want. What everyone wants. To matter, to persist, to not disappear into the silence. There's another option, Claire says quietly. Too quietly. I turn to her. She's looking at me with an expression I can't read. Guilt? Resignation? Her hand moves to her vest pocket. Claire, what? She pulls out a small device. Military-grade detonator. The settlement was a lie, she whispers. There is no settlement. There's just an evacuation bunker 40 miles north. Military, sealed tight. And I have 30 pounds of C4 planted in the sewers beneath this junction, enough to collapse every tunnel for half a mile, trap every infected in this sector underground. The infected smile vanishes. You wouldn't. You'd die too. I know. Claire's thumb hovers over the button. I've been planning this since Philadelphia, since Marcus. I let them chase me here, to this city, to this junction. Used you as bait, Eva. I'm sorry. But this ends now. Betrayal cuts deeper than any infection could. You used me? My voice breaks. 5 months watching me lose my mind, and I was just… what? Bait? You were surviving. Claire's eyes shimmer with tears. I gave you purpose, something to live for, even if just for a few more hours. That's more than most people got. The infected lunges forward. Claire's thumb drops. The world becomes light and sound and pressure and darkness. Weight. Can't breathe. I'm underwater. No, under concrete. Under rubble. Pinned. My ears ring with a frequency that obliterates thought. Something heavy presses across my chest, crushing. Every breath is a battle against collapsing ribs. Move. Have to move. My right arm is free. I claw at debris, fingers scraping concrete chunks, twisted rebar. The air tastes like copper and cordite. How long was I unconscious? Seconds, minutes. The ringing won't stop. I push. The weight on my chest shifts slightly. Pain screams through my torso. Broken ribs, definitely. Maybe punctured lung. Blood in my mouth, metallic and warm. I spit, push harder. The concrete slab lifts, rolls away. I gasp, dragging air into protesting lungs. Emergency lights flicker somewhere above. The tunnel didn't completely collapse. A pocket of space remains, maybe 6 feet high, filled with dust and smoke. Water pours from broken pipes, already ankle-deep again and rising. Claire? My voice is raw, damaged. Claire! Movement to my left, a hand emerging from rubble. Then, an arm. I crawl over debris, ignoring the agony in my ribs, and start digging. Concrete pieces, twisted metal, a section of pipe. Claire's face appears, ghost pale, lips blue. She's not breathing. No. No, no, no. I pull her free, lay her on the only flat surface I can find. Check for pulse. Nothing. Start compressions. 1, 2, 3, 4. My broken ribs grind with each push, but I don't stop. 15 compressions. Tilt her head back. Breathe into her mouth. Her lips are cold. Again. 15 compressions. 2 breaths. Come on, Claire. You don't get to use me as bait and then die. You don't get to take the easy way out. Her chest convulses. She coughs. Water and blood spraying. Eyes snap open, wild and terrified. Easy, I gasp. You're alive. We're alive. She stares at me like I'm a stranger. Then memory floods back. The detonator? I pushed it. We should be dead. We got lucky. I gesture at the pocket of space. Tunnels collapsed ahead and behind us, but not here. We're trapped. But we're breathing. Trapped. She laughs, a broken sound. Perfect. Buried alive in a sewer because I thought I could save the world by killing us both. You used me. The words come out flat, emotionless. 162 days alone, going insane, and you watched it all happen. Used my suffering as bait. Claire sits up slowly, wincing. Yes. Why? Because I was already dead inside. Her voice cracks. Marcus died in my arms. I shot him while he was still begging me not to, still saying he loved me. And I kept going because rage is fuel, Eva. Revenge is purpose. I needed the infected to think they'd won, to gather, to follow prey into the trap. And I was the prey. You were surviving. That's what made you perfect. Claire meets my eyes. The infected are drawn to resilience, to humans who fight. You fought every single day in that tower. Every day you didn't jump was another day you drew them closer to this junction, to the end. Water is rising faster now, knee-deep. The pocket of air getting smaller. Did you kill them? I ask. The ones in this sector? I don't know. Maybe. Probably not all of them. She looks at the rubble surrounding us. But we're still trapped. Water's rising, no way out. So I guess we both get what we deserve. I should hate her, should want her to drown here in the dark. But I understand her. The isolation, the desperation, the willingness to become a monster if it means having purpose. There, I point upward, through smoke and dust, a gap in the collapsed ceiling, maybe 2 feet wide, 50 feet up. A thin shaft of moonlight piercing the darkness. We can't reach that, Claire says. We can try. I start stacking debris. Or we can sit here and drown. Your choice. She stares at me for a long moment, then starts helping. We build in silence, creating a crude staircase from concrete chunks and twisted metal. The water rises past our waists, then our chests. Every movement sends fire through my broken ribs. Claire's arm hangs useless, dislocated or broken. But we build. The pile reaches 30 feet, 40. The gap is directly above us now, tantalizingly close. I climb first, testing each piece of rubble. The structure sways, unstable, could collapse any second. If I fall, I start. You won't. Claire's voice is firm. You didn't survive 162 days to die in a sewer. Neither did I. I climb higher, 45 feet, 48. The water below has risen to Claire's neck. She's standing on the pile's base, head tilted back, gasping for air. My hand touches the gap's edge, real concrete, street level. I pull myself up, ignoring the screaming pain, chest through, legs through. I'm out. The street is chaos. Collapsed buildings, fires burning, infected bodies scattered everywhere. The explosion worked, at least partially. I lean back into the hole. Claire! Climb! Now! She starts up, one-armed, agonizingly slow. The structure trembles with each step. Water pours through the gap, flooding the street. She's 20 feet up, 30. The rubble pile shifts, begins to collapse. Claire lunges upward, extending her good arm. I lean down, grab her wrist, pull with everything I have left. My broken ribs scream, but I don't let go. Won't let go. Her head clears the gap, shoulders. I drag her onto solid ground. We collapse together, gasping, broken, alive. Around us, the dead city burns. And in the distance, so faint I might be imagining it, a sound. Helicopter rotors. They survived the explosion. They survived each other. But is rescue real? Or just another cruel hallucination? The helicopter sound grows louder. Searchlights sweep across the burning city, cutting through smoke like judgment. Claire grabs my arm with her good hand, squeezing so hard it hurts. "Please be real," she whispers. "Please, please be real." I close my eyes, listening, analyzing my mind, fractured by isolation, reconstructed by survival, tries to separate hallucination from reality. The sound has depth, vibration. The searchlights create actual shadows on the ground. Wind from the rotors pushes debris across the street. "It's real," I breathe. "Claire, it's real." We stagger to our feet. Claire's dislocated arm dangles uselessly. My ribs grind with every movement. We're covered in blood, sewage, concrete dust, more corpse than human. But we're standing. The helicopter descends toward the intersection 2 blocks away. Military transport, lights blazing. The side door opens. A figure in hazmat gear leans out, scanning the devastation below with searchlights. We run, limping, broken, but running. "Here!" Claire screams. "We're here! We're alive!" The searchlight finds us, holds. The figure speaks into a radio, gestures. The helicopter adjusts position, descending lower. A rope ladder unfurls, swinging in the rotor wash. We reach it together. Claire tries to climb one-handed, can't. I boost her from below, supporting her weight despite the agony in my chest. She climbs, slowly. Each rung a victory. Hands reach down from the helicopter, pull her inside. My turn. I grab the ladder, look back at the city one last time. The cinema is visible from here, 3 blocks away. My tower rises above it, silhouetted against flames. My prison, my sanctuary. 162 days of slowly losing myself to silence. And standing at the tower window, impossible, my mind screams, a figure, watching me. It raises one hand, a wave, a goodbye. I blink. The figure's gone. Hallucination. Has to be. My mind's final trick, giving closure where none exists. I climb. Hands grab me, pull me into the helicopter. The door slams shut. We lift off, the city falling away below. Through the window, I watch it shrink. Buildings, streets, the cinema tower, all becoming miniature, abstract, someone else's nightmare. A medic appears, checking vitals, asking questions I barely hear. Claire sits across from me, wrapped in a thermal blanket, tears streaming down her face. Our eyes meet. "I'm sorry," she mouths. I nod, understanding, not forgiveness, not yet, but understanding. The medic pushes an oxygen mask over my face. "You're going to be okay," he shouts over the rotor noise. "Both of you, you're going to make it." I want to believe him, want to believe this is real. This is rescue. This is survival. But 162 days taught me that reality is negotiable, that the mind creates what it needs to survive. Maybe I'm still in the tower. Maybe I jumped that first week, and this is all dying neurons firing. Maybe Claire was always a hallucination. Marcus never existed. The infected can't really think and speak and remember. Maybe. But the oxygen tastes real. The pain in my ribs feels real. Claire's devastated expression looks real. I choose to believe it. The pilot's voice crackles over the intercom. ETA to evacuation bunker. 30 minutes. Welcome back to the living survivors. 30 minutes. From one bunker to another. From isolation to integration. The infected offered me connection through corruption. Humanity offers connection through survival. Different paths to the same destination, not being alone anymore. Claire reaches across the space between us, extends her good hand. I take it. Her skin is warm, human, real. What do we do now? She asks, voice small beneath the rotor thunder. I think about the tower, the cinema, the silence that nearly consumed me, the infected that wanted to make me part of their collective. Claire's betrayal that was also desperation. Marcus's death that rippled across networks of consciousness and brought us here, to this moment, broken but breathing. We survive, I say, and maybe we forgive, eventually. She nods, squeezes my hand tighter. Through the window, the city disappears behind us. The burning, the infected, the silence, all of it fading into memory, into story, into something I'll carry, but no longer be trapped inside. The helicopter flies north, toward whatever comes next, toward other survivors, other stories, other ways of being human in a world that tried to end humanity. I close my eyes. For the first time in 162 days, the darkness behind my eyelids feels peaceful, not empty, not suffocating, just quiet. And in that quiet, I finally hear what I've been searching for all along, the sound of my own heartbeat. Steady, strong, alive. The silence doesn't haunt me anymore. I survived it. Eva and Claire made it out. Broken, betrayed, but breathing. Would you have trusted the rescue? Or would you still be wondering if the tower was the only real thing all along? Drop a comment if you want to hear what happens at the evacuation bunker. Because survival is just the beginning of learning to live again.